Biz News. Today is Wednesday, September 22nd. Let's get into the headlines. There's some developments related to the earthquake. A $187 million disbursement from the UN to help earthquake victims. Japan is contributing as well in a separate fund. We'll talk about what they're doing with it. The gangs and PNH are facing off, and the gangs are retreating. We're gonna talk about it. And we're gonna update the crisis in Texas. It's gone from bad to worse for Haitian immigrants. We'll get into it. Guys, it's SeeJeanty, your host for Haiti Biz News today. Hey, real quick shout out, Stanley Pierre-Etienne. He's still working and hard in the background. He's producing our show notes, and shout out, thank you for your hard work, man. Listen, the Haiti Biz News show is a show focused around economic news, centered around business and what's developed in the country. We're staying away from the politics, we're staying away from the fluff, we're staying away from the controversy, and we're keeping it real centered on keeping those internationally informed, encouraged, and able to find the line forward. And remember, guys, everything we talk about on Haiti Biz News is going to be found on HaitiBizNews.com. It's a website that specifically has everything we talk about in article form, so you can read on your commute, on your go, during your day. And of course, I have to mention SeeJeanty Media. We're producing a lot of other content outside of Haiti Biz News. One episode in particular, I would love for you to go check out on our YouTube channel, SeeJeanty. We visited Joel August's tree farm. And what was so cool about this was you were able to learn about how you in the diaspora for just a few bucks could use your land wherever it may be to create jobs, to create economic opportunity, and create wealth for yourself. Listen, the link's below. Go check out that video. The UN has earmarked $187 million to help those affected in the Gundans South and the Best Department. The money is going to be geared towards providing relief for those families, helping with infrastructure development, and working with the partners that the UN already has established to do development work. Of course, as of today, as you know, over 800,000 Haitians have been affected by this earthquake. The response has been slow. A separate UN report has, so far, of the money that has already been declared, only about 11% has made its way to those affected areas. Now, this is expected. There's a process that requires an evaluation phase that ensures that, again, to avoid fraud, to avoid waste. But of course, it's just a difficult balance because as you spend time evaluating and making sure you're doing the right thing, you're not impacting, you're not providing assistance to those who are desperate, who a dollar today could have been life-changing. And of course, a big challenge affecting the response for the UN and a lot of those first responders, second responders, third responders is the situation in Matissan and Fatima and those areas where, quite frankly, gang violence has been an issue. We'll keep an eye on this news story as we find out more specifics of where this $187 million is going. We'll report it and we'll talk about it. Japan has earmarked $500,000 to help those affected in the earthquake. Specifically, $640,000 will be going to water, hygiene, and sanitation. While it's common sense for us to say, of course, that's something that we should be providing aid for, but that's something that can get lost between providing food, providing shelter, right? So that's one thing that gets lost in sort of the crisis mode, because of course you want to get food to folks, you want to get shelter to folks, but ensuring that they have the basic in terms of water, in terms of sanitation, hygiene, especially in this era of COVID-19, so critical, much needed. Thanks, Japan. Thanks, of course, to a lot of the other first responders who are doing very similar things, but of course, to the tune of $640,000. And that's a big ticket item right there. The expectation is at least 60,000 people in the Gundans area are going to be positively affected by this contribution. Of course, we're going to talk about Fun Haiti. It's a segment we have where it's really important that we show other YouTubers, other folks who are showing different aspects of Haiti, because again, at the end of the day, we can only understand and improve the perspective of ourselves jointly together. Kid Greatness has a really cool video, just walking around Petionville, just walking around showing the life of it. In fact, I have a series myself walking around Haiti, but it's very cool to see someone else doing it and doing it recently. So go check that video out and also give him a subscription. Tell him SeeJeanty sent you. Gangs and the police are facing off, and the police are winning. Some really great positive developments are happening right now as it relates to what's been happening on the ground. As we know, there's been a humongous uptick, for months now, between kidnapping and just gang violence, gangs fighting each other, folks getting caught in the crossfire. But the police have been making progress across different gangs across the city. In particular, the Casamaro has suffered a pretty nasty set of losses, resulting in several deaths on their side. For example, part of the Casamaro gang, Vitelom, they destroyed and took control over a very large swath of territory being held within the Port-au-Prince area. Another big known gangster, Kasha Dife, has died at the hands of PNH. And several operations against G9, run by Barbecue, has suffered deaths and arrests in the past few weeks. Jean-Bruce Mathieu, who's the divisional commissioner of the PNH, says that they're going to continue to focus their energy and their strength against these gangs, and especially their leaders. And the hope, of course, is to restore a sense of security for many of those who've been in Port-au-Prince, who've been suffering insecurity at the hands of these bandits. If there's any chance for Haiti to recover, we need that security to continue to improve. And I can tell you one thing that's not really being talked about, but I can tell you, a big concentration point for example, the U.S. that already provides over 50% of PNH's budget, has been a doubling down on funds, a doubling down on resources, a doubling down on providing training for the Haitian police force. So I think if there's any silver lining in the coming months, I think certainly a sense of improved security is coming. Sponsor time. Valor Canez, listen, the #1 retailer and appliance furniture store in Haiti. Listen, guys, if you need quality stuff and you're over there and you have friends and family who don't have the material, the basic stuff that they need in their homes, you want to go to vcanez.com, order material, order whatever it is, and they'll deliver anywhere on the territory to your family. What? I'm going to say it again. They'll deliver while you're sitting wherever you are, Canada, US, wherever. They'll deliver here in Haiti for you, to anyone, all right? So go check them out, support our sponsor. Haber Distribution, sponsor, thank you. And we're looking for retailers, wholesalers, distributors, anyone who wants to work with us over in the States. We have so much goodies. We mascutu, honey, coffee, right? Listen, guys, you want to visit hyperdistribution.com, see what we have currently in stock, contact us. And by the way, if you're in the Pompano Beach area, looking for a job, looking for work, listen, contact us. The job section on the website should be up by now, so go take a look, see our current openings, send an application. I look forward to working with you. The WhatsApp group, very pivotal to what we're able to do here. A group of 30, 40 of some of the Haitian diasporas, Haitian Americans, most productive people, engaged people are in that channel, working together, talking, discussing strategy, seeing the way forward. And I'm in there. We're chatting together. On top of that, we have a 25-year attorney who's in there as well. This is a channel for doers. And what's so cool is folks provide a voluntary $20 contribution that allows programming like this to work and to happen. And we're building staff, we're doing great material, and that's all really a large part because of the SeeJeanty WhatsApp group. So first off, thank you to them, and also we'd love to invite you to become part of the SeeJeanty WhatsApp group, SeeJeanty WhatsApp community, SeeJeanty WhatsApp family. Links below, join. Sponsors at hypro.solution. We're looking for more sponsors, by the way. So listen, if you're a business, if you want to reach our audience, our mainly Haitian diaspora audience with big pocketbooks looking to impact, sponsors at hypro.solution. The migrants in Texas, we're going to give an update on that. We talked about it yesterday. We've had more imagery come in since yesterday. I mean, we're talking about folks on horseback who have been literally whipping Haitians who were trying to get back across the border from the bridge area, because there's no food, there's very little water, there's folks with families there, so they're having to traverse back to the Mexican side to get food and get other supplies, diapers, things of that sort to come back. But the Border Patrol is right there. And I mean, the images are just horrendous, right? You know, it horrendous. It reminds you back of days of, I mean, stuff I've really honestly seen in movies, right? In terms of slave masters whipping, you know, black bodies. I mean, this is something that it's horrible to watch, and it's incredible that it's happening under an administration that, you know, you would think it wouldn't happen under, right? Just to recap, of course, over 15,000 immigrants, a good majority, 11 to 12,000 of them being Haitian, have began to arrive for the past week or so in America, particularly in the San Diego area. It's overwhelmed the Customs Border Patrol that has been there to receive them. The Biden administration has ramped up, have said that, you know, we're shipping them out. You know, don't come. And they've been already dropping off hundreds of Haitians on planes back to Port-au-Prince, working with the Haitian government. But of course, the question is, can the Haitian government really support these folks? I mean, listen, let's be frank, the Haitian government is unable to support its current citizens, much less these returned citizens, right? So it goes without saying, we're, you know, holding our breath to see how things turn out. There has been increased pressure from politicians, from civil groups, from society in large, to demand answers, to understand how exactly is this response happening, especially at a time where we've just accepted 95,000 plus Afghans from really a very similar situation of incredible insecurity, incredible economic instability, and in Haiti, certainly between a 7.2 earthquake, between a assassination of a sitting president. We just had a story about the PNH going to bat with gangs. You know, is it really safe and secure for these Haitians who, quite frankly, a lot of them have not been in Haiti for years, right? A lot of these Haitians were in Chile, were in Brazil for years, right, before saving their money up and to make this trek to America. A lot of these folks just don't have that connection anymore, right? Is it really just inappropriate to send them back into a situation, right? The political process in America certainly, I think, should very clearly have a lane for individuals, Haitians, in this manner. Of course, you know, here on SeeJeanty, we're all about, a big part of what we try to do here is to show there is a way forward for Haitians wanting to come back. There's opportunities, there's investment, there's ways to persevere in a obviously very difficult environment. We're all about that. But quite frankly, as I always say, you should only do it when you're absolutely ready. And these folks are far from ready, especially when they're being forced back, right? It should be a willing decision to come back, a thoughtful, strategic decision to come back, not one where you're being forced to with your friends, with your family, and very little resources and capacity. We'll keep an eye on this story, and as it develops, we'll come back to talk about it. So guys, listen, I want to thank you so much if you hung around long enough to see this part of the video. I want to thank you so much. A big part of what makes this great and what makes this worth doing is you watching consistently, coming here for as your news source. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that big red button. Please leave a comment. I read them. I appreciate what's left there, and I learn from them. Hit that like button, and please share the video. Share a video to someone who perhaps is looking for a consistent news source. It's certainly appreciated. And by the way, I just want to give you a little sneak peek. And the sneak peek is we have a new host starting tomorrow, Manushka Vayard. Johnny, how are you doing? Good?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, listen, can't wait for you to guys to meet her officially tomorrow. So listen, stay tuned, subscribe so you don't miss it when we drop it tomorrow. And we'll be back at it again. And we're back at it again.